Welcome back, great beer lovers all over the world, all over the nation, all over the state of South Carolina, and anywhere you are. Glad to be back. I have been away just a little bit, but I am back doing my videos here, doing my reviews of some great beers, and I've got one today. It's called Hibernation Ale from Great Dide Brewery. It's an English old style ale. Now, I didn't know too much about the English old style ale, but we're going to find out what makes this tick, and we're going to do it on So, let's get right into this, shall we? I didn't know a lot about the English old style ale. In fact, I'd never heard about it. I've heard about the bitters, the best bitters, the extra special bitters, which kind of are my favorite. I've heard about the IPAs. I've heard about the brown ales. I've heard about regularly just pub ales, for that matter. Light lagers, pale lagers, and so forth. I've heard about those. Never really heard about the English old style ale. And it actually kind of predates a lot of the modern ales that you'll actually hear about in the English or the British style of beer. We are going to change up the format a little bit. I have been consulted to say, why don't we go ahead and why don't we take and do a beer through history first, which we're going to do in just a few seconds, and then later on we'll just give the quick beer specs. How about that? Okay? So, without further ado, let's find out a little bit more about the English old style ale. And we're going to do it right here on
Beer Through History.
Old English Ale holds a storied place in the annals of brewing history, embodying centuries of tradition, craftsmanship, and cultural significance. Originating in medieval England, this iconic beverage predates the modern era of standardized brewing techniques, offering a taste of the past with each sip. At its core, Old English Ale is more than just a beverage. It's a reflection of the times in which it was brewed. In medieval England, ale was a staple of daily life, consumed by peasants and nobility alike. Unlike modern beers, which often undergo filtration and pasteurization, Old English Ale was traditionally brewed using simple ingredients: water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. This straightforward recipe resulted in a brew that was robust, flavorful, and full-bodied. Today's breweries around the world are embracing the heritage of Old English Ale, experimenting with ancient recipes and techniques to recreate this timeless beverage for a modern audience. Whether enjoyed in a cozy pub on a chilly winter's evening or savored at a summer barbecue, Old English Ale continues to hold a special place in the hearts of beer lovers everywhere, serving as a rich reminder of the rich brewing traditions of centuries past. One of the defining characteristics of Old English Ale is its depth of flavor. Unlike the lighter, crisp taste of modern lagers, Old English Ale is characterized by its rich maltiness, balanced by the subtle bitterness of hops. Depending on the brewing process and ingredients used, variations in flavor profiles could range from sweet and nutty to dark and roasty, offering something to suit every palate. Specifics can be 12 to 30 SRM, 30 to 64 IBU, and 6 to 9 ABV.
Well, that was kind of interesting, wasn't it? Again, I never really knew about the English old style ale. Who knew? It's kind of predates a lot of the older styles that we'll know about. For instance, the bitters, the best bitters, and so forth. I think I mentioned those just a few seconds ago. But this is going to be an homage to the English old style ale. It's a Great Dide Hibernation Ale. Okay? We're going to tap into that right now. We're going to find out about it. Remember, we review our beers using the 5 categories from the Beer Judge Certification Program: the aroma, the appearance, the taste, naturally, the mouthfeel, and the overall impression. So we're going to do that. We're going to get into it. Right now I've got my standard tumbler. It's just standard. It's chilled. It is not frozen. I don't like frozen mugs or anything like that because they do kind of leave a little bit of a residue of ice around the edge. And that kind of makes the beer, at least the foam, taste a little funny. We've got our can here. I'm going to see if I can get this to be heard through the microphone here. Let's see what we got. Okay, there you go. Hopefully we'll be able to pick that up. This is the microphone that I use, by the way. I don't have a lapel mic. Not the one that I really would trust. Look at there. It's already starting to foam out the top. Let's go ahead and pour this. Going to pour it gently down the side because it looks like it's got a little bit of a foam to it, a little bit of a head. I'm going to pour it. I'm going to get it into the glass here. Oh, yes. There we go. Really nice and glass proud. Woo-ha. Look at that. Right there to the top. Oh, can't beat that. And tap all that out there. There you go. Hibernation Ale. I can already smell it. It smells like candy. It smells like wonderful candy. It smells like a toffee. And because we're looking at the aroma first. Kind of a fruity. A little bit of a fruity because ales can be fruity smelling. Malty. You're going to smell malt. Okay. When I say fruity, yes, it could have that nice sweetness to it. Apple juice, pear, peach, plum, apricot, anything else like that, figs, believe it or not. Those smells right there can be amalgamated into the aroma. It is going to be the malt. There is no fruit flavor in here, naturally. Oh, look at that beautiful head. Ooh, we'll get to that in a minute. Remember, the head was almost definitely glass proud, okay? But we've got a beautiful, beautiful beer here. Smell. Remember when I said it just kicked off right there with that beautiful malt smell? Oh, it just hit me in the face. It was so wonderful. I smell it right out of the can. It smells like candy. Now, let's get into the appearance. First of all, we did say that we had a very even glass proud head on the beer. And it is about, 3/4 of an inch, maybe getting on towards of an inch. It's very dark. It's rather hazy, okay? I'd love to be able to see if I can show you what it looks like. You can't really see through it. It's the color, I'm going to say, let me see if there's a drink I can tell you. It's darker. It's not as dark as Coca-Cola. Definitely not as dark as Coca-Cola. If there's a soft drink, I could say that it's close to. It's really, really, really darker than regular standard iced tea. Okay? SRM level is going to be in the 20s, maybe in the 30s. Okay? I'll have to look that up. So far, the head has gotten these nice little creamy bubbles on it. Okay? Nice, fine little creamy bubbles. Nothing too exceptional. Not really any Brussels lace, okay, yet. Now, when you drink a beer, it's going to go down. You're going to get the Brussels lace that sticks as you drink down the side of the bottle. So we're going to see what that does. Now, that's for the appearance. It is hazy, okay. It is not going to be exceptionally clear. And I think we talked about that. I think we found that out in the Beer Through History, that these are unpasteurized, unfiltered. They're very dark. They're very heavy. They're very malty, right? So I believe that's what the appearance and what the smell is that we're getting. Now let's do the taste. That is the most important thing, you know. Ah, yes. It hits me like a Scottish ale. I believe we reviewed a Scottish ale recently. And it's very strong. It's got a really heavy, good, strong flavor. And we'll talk about the mouthfeel in a second, but it is sweet in terms of its taste, but it's not overly sweet. You can absolutely taste the malt in there. I mean, it hits you with the malt. It also hits you with the hops, too. The hops aren't bad. And we'll talk about the hops here coming up in the beer specs. But the hops aren't bad, but they are on the forefront. You're going to have that nice hoppy flavor. I would actually say, if I didn't know any better, this would be a precursor to the bitters, okay? The bitter, the best bitter, the extra special bitter. I would probably say this would be an early version of that. Not only in the color, but in the hops front end, as well in the nice, strong, malty. I would say this would be a extra special bitter, okay? Or it could even be, if you would, a precursor to an IPA. It's got that hop kick to it that would be fit for travel across the ocean over there to India. By the time they got there, it's going to be a bitter or best bitter or something close to that range. Let's try this again. I'm not really picking up fruit, as I had mentioned earlier, but if I did, it would be like a fig, or it'd be something, it'd be something like that. It's biscuity, toffee, slightly fruity, like if you got a biscuit with some jam on it. Okay, not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, but it's got a nice, good roasty flavor to it. That's what I like about it. And we're going to look at the hops coming up shortly. And as we see, we have some Brussels lace forming, which is really good. Again, Brussels lace is not a measure of a good beer. It just tells you the characteristics of the remaining proteins in the beer. Okay, let's go ahead and set these aside. Now, in terms of the mouthfeel, it's heavy. It's not going to be a light type of beer. It's not going to be something you're going to drink after a lawn mowing session. It's going to be a little bit heavier. It's not a cloying taste. It's kind of a medium, if you would. It's not really sweet. It's not really heavily overall sweet, but it's kind of a medium. So, yeah, I mean, it's not for... You wouldn't want to drink it on a daily basis, okay? But it's still a very good, very wonderful beer to share with your friends and to just experience. I would say go to a restaurant that has it and, drink it with a meal, okay? Now, in terms of the overall impression, of course, I give it, 5 out of 5 hops, okay? I would say probably 8.5 out of 10, okay? It's Great Divide. Great Divide is out of Denver, okay? You can't beat a beer from Denver if you tried. These are some of the best brewers out there. I've been to a number of them. I've been to ones in Fort Collins, Loveland, and I am just so impressed with their quality of beer out there. It's amazing. Now, we are going to talk about the beer specs. The beer specs are coming up right now.
Great Divide Hibernation Ale, English Old Style Ale. ABV 8.7%. IBU 37. Hops Cascade Centennial. Yeast House.
So, folks, this is the Great Divide Hibernation Ale, English Old Style Ale. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can find it. I found this off of out of a little venue that we have here. I always say that because she's my little beer vendor, and she's got an amazing selection of beers out there. I found this there, and I just had to try it because I love a good ale. I love a really good ale. But anyway, thank you for being here today. Thank you for looking at the review. Definitely remember, subscribe, right? Ring that notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some love, right? We'd like to hear from you. Leave your comments below. We do read them. If we get a chance, we can definitely respond to them. If you have a beer you want us to try and we can find it, please suggest it, okay? We love to be able to review as many beers as we can. We're going to make a goal to probably do this about once every week up until the end of the year. So stay tuned with us. We've got some great things. And again, I'm looking at getting into more of the interviews with the local beer vendors. We just did one yesterday, their 10th anniversary, one of the best ones around. And it was a great time for everybody. 10 years, can you believe it? Anyway, I do want to mention, remember, this is our beer review logbook. I found this on Amazon, $8.99. You can't beat it. Go get you one of these. It gives you the opportunity to write down your beer experiences in your book there and bring them back, and you'll remember your beers. If you're ever in the upstate of South Carolina, remember the Upstate Ale Trail. It will give you a listing of, well, a lot of the current breweries around town. Some of the breweries have actually gone out of business lately, but basically speaking, this is going to be your top guide for all the breweries around the upstate of South Carolina. And if you can ever find one, I always say it, this is my little go-to book for anything beer related. It's just my little Bible, if you would. It has almost every style you can imagine. There are some styles in there that, yes, have changed, that are not current anymore. People use, people don't use, but it is an excellent resource. Again, if you can find it. I'd love for them to be able to publish it again. If you are out and about and want to do a little bit of a beer hunt yourself, this is the beer score sheet from the Beer Judge Certification Program. I've got the links in the description down below, so go ahead and take those, download it, print it, fold it up, put it in your pocket, and take it with you on your next beer journey. It's got the 5 categories: the aroma, appearance, flavor, mouthfeel, and overall impression. Plus, it gives you a list of the off flavors here that will allow you to diagnose anything that you taste in a beer at a venue. Okay? Do take that with you. It's, if nothing else, it's just a fantastic resource to have. And again, folks, listen, I really appreciate you being here. Remember, subscribe, right? Ring that notification bell. Get notified for the next time we have this video. And give us some thumbs up. Really helps us grow the channel. We want to grow the channel. We want to bring these reviews here like this to you so that you can make some great beer choices. Okay? Thank you very much again for being here. And remember, Prost! Cheer, chin chin! Kanpai! Slancha! And of course from America, cheers. Wonderful. Peace, love, and beer.